And welcome back inside Rexall Place, everyone, as we get set for the second of three between the Edmonton Oilers and the Nashville Predators. The starting goalie is brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official copy of the NHL. Ben Scrivens faces Nashville for the second time this season. The first was back in late December as a member of the LA Kings, still looking for his first win versus the Predators. And at the other end, 28-year-old Carter Hutton riding a 4-game winning streak. He takes on Edmonton for the first time in his career. So Devan Dubnyk will be the backup. Pekka Rinne continues to battle that hip infection. The last time these teams met, the Oilers shut out the Nashville Predators 3-0, and it was the guys on this top line who did all the scoring. Taylor Hall, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Jordan Eberle, and they start this hockey game with Justin Schultz and Nick Schultz back in the lineup. Andrew Ference left the game against Phoenix with a head injury. He is not playing tonight. Nick Schultz was a healthy scratch. He is back playing with Justin Schultz. So it's Schultz and Schultz on the blue line. Hornquist with Beck up front. And Mike Fisher. The Nashville Predators also suffering some flu bug that is going through the team. And guys that played Friday in Calgary, not in the lineup tonight. And they include Victor Stahlberg and Matt Cullen. Hall with the puck now as he crosses the blue line, stops up. That's a shot go. Hutton to save. The rebound cleared by Legwand, but not out. Marincin with a shot tipped by Hall right on, and Hutton makes 2 big saves to start this game off the stick of number 4. Shea Weber plays it off the glass, takes a funny hop, but comes right to Nick's ball. Tipped in by Petrie, handled by Scrivens. He'll play it around the net, and Boyd Gordon's got it. He'll flip it out. Hendricks and Jones. Louis, you like this line in their game against Phoenix.
I do. Very aggressive line, get pucks in deep and establish that cycle down low. So not only hard defensively to play against Kevin, but very aggressive as a forechecking unit.
Starting lineup brought to you by Boston Pizza, your hockey headquarters destination. And we touched on some of the absences, including the captain, Andrew Ference.
Yeah, tough loss for Edmonton having Ference out, and for Nick Schultz, he'll step right into a position that he's played before with Justin Schultz, so that's some familiarity there. But Marco Arcobello is going to be out as well, and Ryan Smith will take the 4th line center position for the Oilers tonight. So Gazdic goes back in, a little bit of fresh legs back into the lineup here, a little bigger lineup, a little more physical lineup going up against the Nashville Predators.
And as we mentioned, Matt Cullen and Victor Stahlberg suffering a flu bug, as is Eric Nystrom. He was telling us this morning, did not skate, but he did show up.
Score 4 goals, you gotta stay in there. Let's call it hot.
He's fever. That's what it was. It wasn't the flu, it was a goal-scoring fever.
Pretty remarkable night for Eric Nystrom. Friday night in Calgary, his old team scoring 4 goals. The first time in his career that he scored 3, let alone 4. But pretty impressive. And pretty tough to come out in the losing end as well, losing 5-4 in that game as the Flames come back and win that one in the shootout.
And that's all part of a 3rd of a 4-game road trip for Nashville as we take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by the 2014 Ford Super Duty. It's built for tough.
Well, Kevin, for the Edmonton Oilers, it's what we saw in the 3rd period Friday against the Phoenix Coyotes, and that's battle level. They have to elevate it all over the ice, and every single line has to bring it more at the start of this game for 60 minutes. And for the Predators, it's discipline. This is a team that's given up 10 power plays against in the last 2 games played. In the previous 6, only 11. 3 power play goals last game is what buried them 5-4 in that game, allowed Calgary to come back and win it. So a little more disciplined team effort tonight for Nashville.
And when you reach this stage, Louis, they are 6th in the Central, 12th in the West. They have got to start putting wins together if they have any hope. As Schultz lets the shot go, Hutton makes the save, and he'll hang on to it.
Good save by Hutton. I like this little rush by Schultz here coming up through the middle. But you're right, Kevin. The Nashville Predators, a team that just hangs around, is in the mix. And there's so many teams now vying for positions. They have to start playing a little bit better hockey. For Justin Schultz, I like this. If you have the space, take it. The Nashville Predators, a team that like to sit back, look for turnovers in the neutral zone. Speedy Schultz finds a little seam, goes in, gets the shot, an offensive zone faceoff. 27 minutes, 27 seconds for Justin Schultz in the game against Phoenix, and over 7 minutes played on the power play. It looked like he was out there the entire time. The Oilers were 0 for 5 in that game against the Phoenix Coyotes, a game they lost 4-3 on Friday night. Now, last couple games for Edmonton. They're 0 for 9 in the last 2 games played, both 1-goal games. And that last one Friday had an opportunity in the power play in the 3rd period. Edmonton did to tie the game. They don't convert. And against Vancouver, the previous game, they had opportunities there as well to make things happen before power play. So have to find a way to make the power play a weapon.
Luke Gaston, a healthy scratch in the last game, out there with Ryan Smith and Jesse Joensuu, the fourth line. And the biggest line for the Oilers that they put on that fourth line. Joensuu digs it along the boards, gets it to Smith. He takes a shot. It gets deflected by Victor Bartley high. Joensuu goes and gets it for Gaston. Gaston to Ryan Smith. Smith throws it towards the net. Joensuu, great pass to Schultz. Great goal. Justin Schultz. And the Oilers have a 1-0 lead. 2 minutes, 59 seconds into the contest. You talked about Justin Schultz being more active.
Oh, I just love this. He takes a look, recognizes that Nystrom isn't really watching him at the blue line, and like Brian Leetch used to do back in the day, he sees you turn your head one way, he jumps to a hole. Good, solid, heavy work down low by Gazdic, Smith, and Joensuu, and eventually it gets into the middle. Joensuu with a nice little pass to Schultz, who just jumps to that hole, and boy, he made good in this one here as he goes up over top of Hutton with the wrister for a 1-0 lead.
Justin Schultz gets his 6th goal of the season. He came in without a point in his last 4 games. With a little help from Joensuu and Smith. Less than 3 minutes in, the Oilers have a 1-0 lead. Joensuu gets his first assist of the season and his first in 32 games going back to last year. And Ryan Smith also gets off the schneid. He gets his first helper in his last 9 games. The Oilers with 4 shots. Ben Scrivens has not faced a shot from the Nashville Predators so far. Paul flips that puck down the ice. Eberle going after it. Jones gets there first. He'll give it to Michael Del Zotto. Del Zotto sends it around the board. Scrivens stops it up in the corner for Wilson. Wilson now to Bourque. Gabriel Bourque battling with Corey Potter. Potter and Beloff paired together. Bourque again. The puck battle behind the net. This time Gordon comes in to help out. Gets it to Beloff. Beloff pushes it up to Hendricks. And the Oilers muscle it out. Here is Jones. Ryan Jones. Fan on the shot as Jones, the other one, Seth, was in his face. Colin Wilson takes a bump from Matt Hendricks. As the Nashville Predators change up. Victor Bartley and Ryan Ellis are the blue liners right now for Nashville. This is Ellis with the puck. He'll give it to Nick Spaulding, and that puck ends up getting deflected into the seats. Samantha Bendinger of Stony Plains Swipe Free Club Card on behalf of Safeway and Ocean Spray Multi-Packs. You have won a Hoover Wind Tunnel Multi-Cyclonic Bagless Canister. On the goal by defenseman Justin Schultz, his 6th of the year. On the face-off, unable to keep it in at the point was Del Zotto. An opportunity now for Perron. His shot stopped by Hutton. Yakupov with it now. Yakupov throws it towards the front of the net. Kept in by Nick Schultz. Knocked down by Rich Plume. I have to keep our eye on the Nashville bench. Craig Smith has left the game. Not sure if it's an equipment problem or he is injured. Nashville ranked 23rd on the road. 10, 11, and 4 away from Nashville, Tennessee. Scrivens stops it up behind the net. Schultz to Schultz. Ryan Smith with it now. Ryan Smith flips that puck in. Joensuu will get to it ahead of Victor Bartley. Joensuu tied up there by Bartley. Smith comes in to help him out. Trying to work it back to Marincin. It was picked off instead by Hornquist. Now to Fisher. Fisher straight out in front it goes. And the net comes off the moorings. And we get the whistle as driving towards the net was number 41, Taylor Beck.
That was a nice little drive. Good pickup here by Fisher, too, as he takes it from behind the back, brings to the backhand. And for Beck just driving the net, good job by Marincin to kind of block him out, not allow him to get the stick down, and not take a penalty in the process as he gets it down onto the ice. And for Beck, he has to use his skate to go towards Scrivens with the shot. And for Scrivens, good job by him to stay in the battle and make that save.
Martin Marincin got his first NHL point in that game against Phoenix. An assist, still looking for his first NHL goal, but his play has been elevated in his 16th game of the season.
Here is the basket of half-eaten zucchini sticks from the win known as Money Monday.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Boyd Gordon will take the draw. He is 6th in the league in faceoffs against Paul Gostad, another guy who's good in the dot. He's 5th. Hendricks going after it against Bartley. Hendricks gets there first, pushes it behind the net for Jones, is watched by Ellis. Colin Wilson does get it by Jeff Petrie. Marincin stumbled just a bit, recovered, and got it to his D partner. Petrie to Jones, and he will tip that one in and head off. 13:47 to go here in the first period. The Predators have just one shot. They were outshot 31-25 in that game against the Calgary Flames on Friday. Nugent Hopkins behind the net, ties up there with Colin Wilson. Wilson bangs it off the back of the net, fights for it against Nugent Hopkins. Around the boards it goes. Eberle to Hall. Taylor Hall down the left side. Here comes Hall. Stumbles as he gets the puck towards the net, and Hutton's going to cover it up with Nugent Hopkins right there. 1-0 is the score. Justin Schultz has opened the scoring for the Oilers.
Well, time to play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Oilers player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Geraldine Hoff of Grand Prairie could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway and you could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet. Ford Drills and Skills is giving you and your minor hockey team the chance to train like a pro at Rexall Place. Submit what you've done in the community, and you could be chosen as a finalist because being a pro on the ice starts with what you do off the ice. To enter, visit FordDrillsandSkills.ca.
All right, Gene, thanks very much. 13:19 to go here in the first period. Craig Smith, he's back in the game, so it was an equipment problem. Taylor Hall also had some issues with his skates. And so you see Ryan Smith has taken his spot temporarily. David Legwand. Louis, we talked about Shane Doan being the face of the franchise. How about David Legwand and Barry Trotz? These guys have been here since the beginning.
Yeah, from day one, pretty impressive. Both of them have had great careers so far. No question about that for Legwand. As you mentioned, he was the first ever pick by the Predators back in '98, second overall, and he's been one of Trotzy's troopers ever since.
Leads this team in assists and points right now. He's got 7 in his last 6 games. Playing in his 14th year in the National Hockey League. Mike Fisher intercepts it, moves in with Beck. A long shot on Scrivens, and he'll hang on to it.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
Speaking of Barry Trotz, the longest tenured coach in the National Hockey League, 1,168 game coach tonight.
And you know, you kind of get the feeling with Barry Trotz, and it's been that way ever since he started coaching in Nashville, that it's his way or the highway. You're going to play the system the way he wants it played, and he gets the most out of his players. And he's done it for years.
And a little bit different. Without Pekka Rinne, they have not gotten the goaltending that they normally get. So scoring 4 goals normally would be a victory for them. They have not been able to do that this year and find themselves on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. Ryan Jones with puck now. Ryan Jones to the back of the net. Boyd Gordon in there to help out. Gets tied up by Ryan Ellis. Jones given a shove by Fisher. And here is Hornquist. Patrick Hornquist. Long bouncer right on to Scrivens. He'll play it himself and give it to Petrie. Jeff Petrie had 5 shots in that game against the Phoenix Coyotes. Perron, speaking of goal scoring, David Perron, 19 goals, has the team lead. With Yakupov and Gagne, the second line. Here, a feather pass intended for Perron from Gagne. Doesn't make it through. And back the other way comes Rich Clune. Clune chips it in. Belloff, head on a swivel. Takes a hit from Clune. Perron gets there and moves it ahead for Gagne. Gagne with Yakupov. Sam Gagne across the blue line. Gagne will send it behind the net. Del Zotto picks it off, sends it around for Smith. He is checked by Gagne. Perron on the far side. David Perron leaves it there for Nail Yakupov. Yakupov to Gagné. Nobody home behind the net. Seth Jones says thank you very much. Seth Jones tied for third among rookie defensemen in points. He's got 19.
Get over! Get over!
Kostek will give it to Nystrom. Dumps it in. Smith. Ryan will get there and play it behind the net for Nick Schultz. Schultz. Luke Gazdic. Gazdic to the middle. Off the skate of Joensuu. And back the other way comes Ryan Ellis. Ellis flips it into the opposite corner. Gazdic takes a hit as he gets the puck. To Schultz, quickly up for Smith, down to Joensuu. Joensuu crisscrossing with Smith inside the blue line. Now he'll throw it towards the net. Ryan Smith. Gazdic is there. Joensuu behind the net. Ellis checks him. Big Joensuu fights him off. Ryan Smith in there to help out. Good shift with his fourth line. Nick Schultz steps into a shot, and that one whistles wide. Justin Schultz can't keep it in on the far side, but look at that quick pass for Luke Gazdic. His fourth line wants to make a change, and they'll get an opportunity right now. Long outlet pass, and a shot. Scrivens makes the save as Hornquist let it go. Hornquist with 10 goals on the season. He gets kind of tired of us talking to him every time about the 7th round being picked. 230th overall. But he's here in the bigs. We'll be back after this.
Well, Kevin Taylor Hall's back on the bench here. Had a little trouble with his blade as he lost a wheel, so to speak, going down the ice. The last shift right there as he goes down. He gets up, heads over to the bench, and he had to do this last game as well. Have a little difficulty keeping that edge. And it was the same thing for Smith. He had to leave for a little while. Looks at the skates down there, says, yep, they look to be pretty good. And Hendricks as well. I don't know what's going on down there, but this is the quickest change in the world right here. Get the skate up on the boards. Jeff Lang, clickety-click, Barb trick. Next thing you know, you got a new blade in there. Somebody watching 25 years ago saw that, they'd be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Like a NASCAR pit change.
Yep. That was quicker. I think that was about 4 seconds.
9 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first period. The Oilers out shooting the Predators 7-3 and have 1 goal from Justin Schultz. Back spins, throws it towards the net, doesn't make it through. Hendricks, quick pass for Ryan Jones. He was checked by Ryan Ellis. Fisher across the blue line. Fisher, as Spaulding catching up. He's in there by himself as the Nashville Predators make a change. Petrie sends along the boards. Roman Josi will keep it in there. Behind the net it goes. Nick Spaulding on the near side. Spaulding. He is checked by Martin Marincin and by Hendricks. Spaulding fights them both off. Plays it behind the net for Craig Smith. Smith, Legwand, and Spaulding, the forward line, putting on pressure right now. One-time shot. Josi stick explodes. Legwand behind the net with Spaulding. Legwand. Back to the point it comes. Josi, new stick. Roman Josi circles the net. He's got Weber up top and a penalty coming up. 6 attackers out there for Nashville temporarily, but Louis, you knew it was coming. The Oilers in scramble mode.
Yeah, and it'll start with a little giveaway, you know, a little bit of a rush pass from the defensive zone. Petrie thought someone was going to be on the wall, and they weren't. As a result, the puck stays in the offensive zone. Good job by Nashville to take advantage of that. This is the blast by Josi that gets a little off kilter because of the broken stick. He's had a real good run as of late, and had that one teed right up, but broke the stick. And it was Marincin down low with the holding penalty that'll head to the box for the first power play of Nashville in this game tonight.
Nashville went 0 for 2 in that game November 28th in Nashville against the Oilers. They were also 0 for 2 in Calgary on Friday. Well, this is a team that has 6 power play goals in their last 6 games. A power play that is ranked 6th in the league overall. And one of the big reasons, Louis, is the guy that wears number 6. He's got 9 power play goals. Legwand drops it back and went between the legs of Fisher, and Shea Weber had to retreat. Schultz, Hendricks, Smith, and Justin Schultz. Now Ryan Jones replaces Ryan Smith. Mike Fisher with a puck. Feeds it over to Hornquist. Good job by Jones to break it up. Back to Weber at the point. Weber having trouble keeping the puck in. Legwand gathers it up. He'll move across the blue line. Drop it back to Weber. Weber will go to Josi. Down low for Legwand. Tees it up for Weber. And he fired that one just wide. That has got to be a nightmare. And there again, And Weber sees that puck get by him. I wonder if he's a little under the weather.
Yeah, we've always talked about Shea Weber and the fact that he has a missile from the blue line. He's not afraid to use it on a regular basis as well. And the power play is tailored towards it, no question about it. Good puck movement here for Weber. He knows he can't shoot it the one time, so he dishes it down. Had a couple of times that happened where he couldn't quite get the handle on it. And you know the penalty killers are pretty happy when they see him bobble the puck because they know that big missile isn't coming. But he's so good at getting himself into position, little give and go, and he tees it up. And that one didn't miss by a wide, the one that he did get away.
Norway is going to see that in Sochi, and Canada plays their first game in the Olympics. It'll be the second time that Shea Weber is representing his country at the Olympics. 45 seconds left to go in the penalty to Marincin. The Oilers 17th best in penalty killing in the league. Seth Jones keeps it in at the point. There's a shot that rips wide off the stick of Craig Smith. Jones at the point, drops for Ellis. Gets a little help from Wilson. Oh, go across to Jones. Jones back to Ellis. Now to Seth Jones. Works his way in. His cross-seam feed broken up by Boyd Gordon. Jones has it still. Smith gives it right back to Seth Jones. Here's Ellis. Ellis. He stumbles and goes down. But Wilson saves the day. Now he'll let a wrist shot go. Scrimmage the save. Rebound cleared by Corey Potter. Louis, the guys with sharpened skates are in trouble right now.
The guys are going to be wondering what's going on.
Hall on the intercept. Here's Hall's shot, and Seth Jones got a stick in the way. The penalty is over. Teams at even strength.
Well, you know, the puck is bobbling a little bit down there. No question about it. Maybe the skills competition yesterday, the Oilers tore it up a little bit too much because it's bouncing around. And guys are having a hard time controlling it. You can tell in games like that, you have to simplify. But here's another situation where Jones looks like he has it on a stick. And then this one here gets away from Taylor Hall. The puck's bobbling again. Good recovery by Jones to get that stick into the shooting lane and deflect it up over top of the glass. I'm not sure why the face-off's to the outside.
Seth Jones taken in the first round. He went 4th overall in 2013. 2 Olympians on the blue line right now for the Nashville Predators. Roman Josi is also going. He will represent Switzerland. They change. Del Zotto is on the ice with Seth Jones. 5 minutes, 45 seconds to go in this first period. The Oilers with 7 shots, the Predators with 4. And that's going to be icing against Edmonton.
Well, good penalty kill to start things off here for Edmonton, especially up by a goal, Kevin. It's nice to get that first kill under the belt. A little bit of a bend but not break situation in the defensive zone. The first time that Nashville's been able to cycle it in there and maintain that pressure. They draw a penalty, they get the power play, the big shot of Weber, but they shut it down, and Ben Scrivens comes up with a couple good saves as well. So nice to maintain that lead after a solid PK.
Josi and Weber are out there on the blue line right now as the faceoff from Gagne comes right back to Scrivens. Perron flips it high, looking for Yakupov, gets by him. Josi will give it to Beck. Taylor Beck playing in his 3rd game, his 2nd recall. He was recalled last Wednesday. And he is #1 on their AHL affiliate. 27 points in 35 games for Milwaukee. Gagne walks in, lets the shot go. That gets deflected to the near side. Here is Perron. Gagne checked by Josi. Looking around is Hornquist. He sees Marincin on top of him, and then Beck will send that one slowly down the ice. Perron starts the rush with Nugent Hopkins and Hall. Perron across the blue line, dishes to Hall. Taylor Hall stops, lets a shot go. That didn't make it through. Back the other way, 2-on-1. Here is Legwand with Spaulding. He scores. David Legwand ties this game at 1.
And Kevin, we talked about David Legwand and how he's been the longest tenured Nashville Predator as a player. First pick in 1998, 2nd overall. Just a little bit of a broken play here. Marincin stays tight in here, and no back checker coming back quick enough. Nugent Hopkins does a good job to try and get back, but no support after Marincin is pinching down. And as a result, it leads to a 2-on-1 where Legwand just elects to shoot the puck. Good play by Petrie to go down here, take away the pass, but he somehow is able to get it up over top of Petrie and zing it by Ben Scrivens to tie this game 1-1.
David Legwand gets his 9th goal of the season and 36th point. Spaulding gave him the puck and then acted as a decoy for Nick Spaulding, his 12th assist of the season. And we're all tied up at 1. Craig Smith gets the other helper at 15-25. So Craig Smith now has 15 assists. He's the guy that leads the team in scoring. He's got 16 goals. Has the puck right now. He'll let a shot go, and that is blocked by Anton Belov. The Oilers 10th in the league in block shots. Ryan Smith, Luke Gazdic. Gazdic chips it in. He'll chase it. Hutton gets there first, sends it around the boards. Smith can't get it by Jones. Gustav back to help out. And a pass for Gabriel Bourque was behind him. And that'll come back down on the other end. 3 minutes, 46 seconds left to go in this one. The Oilers will be in Vancouver on Monday, and we'll have that game for you. The Oilers 2-6 in the first half of back-to-back games. Nashville's going to continue their 4-team all-Canadian road trip. They'll be in Winnipeg on Tuesday and go home and play New Jersey on Friday. Bartlett over to Bourque. He is handled there by Justin Schultz. Now Bourque deals with Gagne as he plays it around the near side. Gastead back to Delzato. His shot pad save by Scrivens. Picked up by Nystrom. Eric Nystrom throws it towards the net. Gagne blocked that. David Perron plays it off the boards and gets it out to center. Seth Jones just hammers it right back in. Nick Schultz will get it. There's just over 3 minutes to go in this period, and it's a 1-1 game. The first goal of the season series scored by David Legwand as the Oilers are offside. It's Rogers Oilers hockey, and it's right here on Sportsnet. Like a chip off the old man's block. Another guy that went to NCAA route. Mike Fisher with the puck now. Here's Fisher with a shot that Scrivens saves. Justin Schultz gets the rebound. He'll get it to Everly. Quickly up for Hall. Taylor Hall tied for 18th in the NHL in points. He's got 48 on the season. Nick Schultz. Hornquist on him. Justin Schultz to Everly. Nugent Hopkins chips and chases against Roman Josi. Stops up, plays it behind for Everly. Everly to Hall. Hall plays it back to Schultz at the point. Justin Marincin with it now. He'll throw it towards the net, looking for Nugent Hopkins. Going to tip, and there's Hall hitting the post. Nugent Hopkins with a shot gets deflected wide. Everly with it now. Jordan Everly. Checked by Patrick Hornquist, and Hornquist sends that puck slowly down the ice. The Predators want to get a change. The Oilers get one in as well. They get their second line out there. This is Nail Yakubov backhanding it in, and it's just sent right back out by Bartlett. Petrie now for Perron. Perron lost it to Spaulding. Nick Spaulding with Craig Smith. Marincin behind the net. Smith watching him. Fends him off. Gets it around the boards for Yakubov. Yakubov outlet pass. Spaulding got to it. He'll give it to Delzato. Spaulding chips it in. Martin Marincin will have an opportunity to move the puck because once again Nashville's going to make a change with a buck and a half remaining in this period.
There seems to be a little invisible wall right now for the Oilers on that offensive blue line. Want to turn pucks over, not get in deep just like that right there. They have to have a little bit better effort at getting pucks in behind the defense of Nashville. You saw the top line go out. Little chip in charge by Ryan Nugent Hopkins led to 2 scoring chances for. And the other lines have to follow suit and start getting pucks in deep and establishing that forecheck. Third line of Hendricks, Gordon, and Jones will try their luck as Petrie leads. Jeff Petrie. He'll get to the line and will shoot that puck in. Hendricks gets to it first. Here's Hendricks. Ellis intercepts. Bourque looking for Wilson. Colin Wilson across the blue line with less than a minute to go in the period. Drops it back for Bartlett. Victor Bartlett to Wilson. Wilson to Nystrom. Nystrom for Smith, but it was intercepted by Gordon. He'll play it around the boards. Bartley can't keep it in against Ryan Jones. Shots are even at 7 apiece. Ellis. Quick pass to Nystrom. He tips it in. Belov squeezes off Smith and then puts it between his legs and gets the puck to Potter. Everly with it now. Everly to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins. Drop pass for Hall. Taylor Hall right out in front. Oh, what a goal by Jordan Everly on a great feed from Taylor Hall.
The Oilers take the lead back with just 12 seconds to go in the period.
Boy, this is a nice play. And it all starts with just good puck control up the ice. And for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, just gets his puck head up, gets a little move on the line, little drop pass to Taylor Hall. Jordan Eberle just gets on the Jets and goes right to that far post. Perfect shot pass by Taylor Hall as he zips it through and head up the whole way. He sees Eberle. That's a pass all the way. I thought it was a shot at first, Kevin. That was a pass tape to tape. And he redirects at home to give his team the lead 2-1.
Jordan Eberle with his 18th goal of the season. And he now has a 5-game point streak.
4 goals in his last 5 games for Eberle, so getting hot. And that big line converts.
Darlene Umstatter of Onaway entered the score and win, has won the Lagostina 10-piece stainless steel cookware set courtesy of Safeway and Ocean Spray multi-packs on the 18th goal of the season for Jordan Eberle. So Jeff Merrick, the Oilers get one in the first 3 minutes, and then in the final minute of play. There's only one great one.
Yeah, no question about it. A big day for Wayne, 50 years old today, so happy birthday, Gretz.
And he dropped the puck yesterday in a historic game at Dodger Stadium.
Awesome outing. Beautiful night, great game.
Another one today at Yankee Stadium and another one on Wednesday at Yankee Stadium, the Rangers and the Islanders. And of course, Wayne played for the Rangers as well. Second period underway, the Oilers with a 2-1 lead thanks to number 14, Jordan Eberle. He and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Taylor Hall. Remember, they did all the damage the last time these teams met. They have the go-ahead goal in Eberle at 19:48 of the first period, and they start the second period with a bang. Justin Schultz played 8 minutes and 49 seconds in that first period. They're on the defensive right now. Here is Beck moving in. Beck right away jams the net. No goal. Penalty on the way. And that goal gets waved off immediately. And it stays a 2-1 game as Ben Scrivens lost his mask. The puck went in the net, but the goal will not count.
And I think they're calling it goalie interference here on Beck. What a move by him, though. After a little breakdown, the offensive zone 3-on-2 ensues. And Beck gets up there, drives to the net, and right here, just pile drives through Ben Scrivens. This is a good call. And this is a good call for one reason only, and that is that he doesn't make an attempt not to hit Scrivens here. It's a great move on his part. He jams it through, but right there, just bulldozes through him. And as a result, puck was up over top into the net. Good power movement by the youngster. I like the fact that he's driving the blue paint, but he's going to get that one denied and actually get a penalty on the play.
He gets goalie interference, so not only does he not get his first point of the season, he finds himself in the penalty box, and the Oilers get their first power play of this game. Nail Yakupov. There's Schultz, Gagne, Joensuu, and Perron. Justin Schultz will give it to David Perron. Perron out in front for Gagne, stopped by Weber. Gagne from the corner. Gagne right up top for Schultz. Justin Schultz fakes it, gives it to Yakupov, walks it, feeds it in front for Joensuu, and he was tied up there by Weber. Here is Schultz shot, and a pad save by Hutton. Back to the point it comes. Schultz with it now. He'll give it to Perron. David Perron. 7 power play goals on the season for him. Yakupov, one-time blast. He's got 4 power play goals, but he's denied there by Carter Hutton. Perron for Joensuu. Joensuu, watched by Weber. Gets it back to Perron. Chips it to Schultz. Keeps it in. Here's Yakupov one more time. Wrist shot this time. And it was blocked by Roman Josi. And Nashville get it down the ice. They'll get a change in. The Oilers 8th in the league in power plays here at Rexall Place. They were 0 for 5 against Phoenix. They have not scored a power play goal so far this season against the Nashville Predators. They were 0 for 3 when the teams met in Nashville at the end of November.
They didn't need the power play in that game. They won 3-0. But the last couple of games that have been 1-goal games against the Canucks and the Phoenix Coyotes, 0 for 9 in those 2 games, Kevin. And here in a situation up by 1 goal, a chance to extend the lead, it's got to be a weapon.
Corey Potter will give it to Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall. Nugent-Hopkins and Taylor Hall play catch. Here's Nugent-Hopkins. He's surrounded by Predators, and it was Mike Fisher who worked it down the ice. 13 seconds left to go in the penalty. As Hall cuts for the net. Here is Hall with a backhand. He gets knocked down. And Hutton hangs on to the puck with Ryan Smith right there.
And Taylor Hall wanted this puck the whole way down there. As soon as this puck came out of the zone, he wound it up, and he was directing traffic, saying, get the puck to the wall, little chip, look at a point, get it there, get it there, get it there. And then he winds it up, and he blows right by Bartley here. With speed, goes to the backhand. Good job by Bartley to stay in the battle, get the stick in there just enough to prevent him from really taking it hard to the net. But I like that intensity there by Taylor Hall, just kind of ratchets it up, decides to take it in himself and drive it right to the pipe.
He's got 10 points in 10 career games against the Nashville Predators. Boyd Gordon, a perfect 6-0 in the first period, wins another draw. Shot by Petrie, ends up going into the netting as the penalty, the Taylor Beck, expires. The Oilers with 4 shots on that power play.
They did a good job to move the puck around. And not only that, once they got the puck in the offensive zone, good support. And that's been one of the things that I've harped on a little bit this year with the power play is the lack of support when they don't have full control of the puck. They have to have that support in order to set shop up. Once the good players, Nugent Hopkins, Eberle's, Halls, get the puck with time, they're going to make a play. And we saw it happen a couple times there.
Hendricks, Gordon, and Jones on the ice right now. The third line for the Edmonton Oilers. Here is Jeff Petrie. Looking for Gordon. He was all tied up there by Bartlett. Ryan Ellis will give it to Victor Bartlett. Bartlett. His pass disrupted by Jones and Hendricks. Matt Hendricks brings it in, stops up, throws it towards the net, went off the stick of Bartley and up into the netting.
Tough trading down there. Good little redirection on that shot by Hendricks. He's going up against his old team, the Nashville Predators, for the first time since coming over in the trade that sent Devin Dubner to the Nashville Predators, and just trying to get a shot through with bodies driving to the net. Always tough going up against your old team. It's exciting in one sense, but at the same time, these are the guys that you were battling for, especially when you're a physical guy like Hendricks. He's got to bring that kind of a game each and every night, so they're no longer the friends out there on the ice.
5th game in an Oiler uniform, got his first point as an Oiler in the game against Phoenix, a goal. He's got 5 points on the year as Scrivens hangs on to it.
This period brought to you by McCain's new 4-meat Rising Crust Pizza. McCain, it's all good.
As a look at Ben Scrivens, his last start, January 21st, in the game against Vancouver here, he gave up 2 goals on 27 shots. Trying to snap a 5-game personal losing streak that goes back to when he was with the Los Angeles Kings. He has the lead right now. The Oilers have 12 shots, the Predators 9. Patrick Hornquist. Delzato. Fisher. Throws a shot from a sharp angle. It misses. Delzato keeps it in. Lays it high off the glass. Cleared out by Gordon to center. Beck will get it to Jones. Seth Jones. Nice move around Hendricks. Seth Jones keeps it himself across the blue line. Pass for Hornquist behind him. Hornquist shot. That goes off the stick of Nick Schultz, and that one goes out of play as well.
A little taste of what Seth Jones can do, skating the puck up the ice himself. Such a big body and such a smooth skater. An effortless skater at that. You saw him just kind of take it through the neutral zone. He's had a real solid rookie season, Kevin. In the National Hockey League, steps in as a real young guy. And, you know, when you look at the numbers that he's put up and what he's done in the past, pretty impressive, and was obviously ready to take that big step into the National Hockey League. And that's what was projected of him, was that he was able to step in with his size, with his skill set. That's a pretty good guy over there on the right-hand side, Shea Weber, to show him how it works.
And, you know, that is a young D-corps, so you got to believe they're going to be staying together for a while.
Yeah, very, very, very young D-corps, and a really impressive one at that, especially with Michael Delzato coming over from the Rangers.
Ball shot hit Ellis. Comes back to Potter. He was under pressure from Clune. Out in front, and there is Weber to intercept the pass. And it is Rich Clune. Back the other way. He will backhand it in, chasing himself. Scrivens sees him coming and plays it the opposite way for Hall, under pressure from Gostad. Corey Potter to Anton Belov. Stopped by Clune. Clune, Gostad, and Bork. And this is Paul Gostad. Plays it again behind the net. Scrivens will direct traffic. Potter. Eberle. Nice little feed, and it's picked up by Nugent-Hopkins. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with a long shot. Hutton the save, and he'll hang on to it.
Here is the basket of half-eaten zucchini sticks from the win known as Money Monday.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
So Ryan Nugent-Hopkins really putting into the high gear the last few games. You can see him really starting to find his stride. And I like this little shot from wing. Knows that he doesn't have anybody with him. It's a 1-on-4. Just get it to the net. And what does he get? An offensive zone faceoff. But it was the speed of Nugent-Hopkins to the neutral zone that separated him from Rich Cleveland.
He's got 7 points in his last 8 games, including an assist tonight on the go-ahead goal by Jordan Eberle. Here's Yakupov. Lost it. Legwand comes in and gets it. David Legwand, the only goal for the Predators. It came at 15:25 of the first period. Jones. Pass to Smith. Smith under pressure there and couldn't get by Marincin. Legwand, Spaulding, and Smith, the forward line for the Predators. Out against the Gagne line. Bernal and Yakupov. Smith digging for it. That is Craig Smith. As for Wilson, too far for him, and Perron's got it, and he'll skate it out. Yakupov around the boards as that line is changing. Joensuu flies off the bench with Smith and Gastic, the fourth line. Ryan Smith, referee going down. Joensuu from the corner back to the point. Justin Schultz quickly over for Nick. Nick with a soft wrist shot. That one makes it all the way through. Justin Schultz can't keep it in against Gabriel Bourque. Colin Wilson. Oh, nice move to get by Gastic. Wilson still has it. Bourque shot. Great glove save by Ben Scrivens. Rogers, Oilers hockey. And it's right here on Sportsnet. 15:34 left to go in the second period. Bartley's shot doesn't make it through. It went straight up in the air. Gordon gets it to settle down for Hendricks. And gets it back again. He'll bounce it in, and that one was straight up in the air. Hornquist. Across the blue line. Dishes to Bartley. Bartley waits. Throws it behind the net. Patrick Hornquist all the way to the blue line under pressure from Gordon. And there's Boyd Gordon taking a hit, but making the play, Lewin, getting it out. Hendricks, drop pass for Jones, wrist shot, and Carter Hutton has seen enough. He's going to hang on to it.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Good job here by Boyd Gordon defensively, what he's very known for. Good stay with it here as he just does not relent, stays on the stick. Hornquist forces him to put it outside the zone, then eventually he's the one that chips it in deep. And gets that chance going up the ice.
His next goal will be a career high for Boyd Gordon.
I really like that line. I like the way they played against the Phoenix Coyotes on Friday night. 10 shots between the three of them on that third line.
Loose in front for Schultz as he lost his stick. Justin Schultz back at the bench. The Oilers keep it in, and he has got a new cue. There's Hall shot towards the net here to the side by Shea Weber. Nugent-Hopkins with it now. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins against David Legwand. Eberle comes up with it. Eberle spins against Weber. Eberle, nice pass to Hall. Hall gives it right back to him. Eberle shoved at by Legwand. Hall swing and a miss. Bouncing puck to Eberle. In tight quarters, he gets knocked down by Weber. And it's picked up by Craig Smith. And the Nashville Predators get the puck out. That was some close quarter battles.
Real close quarter battles. And that puck is bouncing the whole way, but a good job to stay with it. For Eberle, just when he was about to finally get settled down, it's rocked a little bit by Shea Weber.
That's a big guy to get rocked by. 230 pounds of number 6. Michael Del Zotto paired with Seth Jones. His pass was off the stick of Jones and brought back in for Gagne. Yakupov takes a stick up high, and the rookie Seth Jones is going to go to the penalty box.
And Del Zotto gives him another one after, just for good measure. Little shot in the back of the helmet, so getting physical down there. Del Zotto in only his third game with the Nashville Predators, known to be an offensive defenseman. And sticking up for his defense partner here as Jones just goes to lift the stick gets away from him and catches Yakupov up in the face shield area, so no question that was a high stick on Jones, and the Oilers will have their second power play of the game. Good opportunity here to extend the lead.
They generated 4 shots on that power play in the first period. 8:26 the time of the penalty for Seth Jones. The Oilers with 32 power play goals on the season. 21 of them have come here at Rexall. But just 1 power play goal in their last 4 games. Gagner, Joensuu, along with Perron, Yakupov, and Justin Schultz. Gostad against Gagner. A scramble, and it's controlled by the Oilers. Back to Schultz at the point. He'll give it to Perron. Perron got Joensuu down low. Gagner in the high slot. Throws it towards the net and went off Weber. Perron gets it back again. Good play by Gagner to move it back to Justin Schultz. Now to Yakupov. Nail Yakupov to the middle for Gagner. His shot gets deflected and ends up going off the netting.
Nice opportunity. Good stick there at the last second to deny this chance for Sam Gagner, who kind of finds himself in the high slot. Little tiny soft area pass by Yakupov. The first one gets denied here. Good penalty killing by Spaulding. And then this one, a little pass into the middle. Good recovery by Spaulding to come back and the stick in there, as well as Shea Weber, to not allow Gagner to have that high quality shots in between the hash marks.
Boyd Gordon replaces Jesse Joensuu for this face-off. Gagner stays out there, but that's the rare draw for Gordon to lose as Spaulding won it. And the puck ends up going down the ice with 1.5 minutes remaining in the penalty to Seth Jones. Gostad on the intercept. Scrivens had a little trouble behind his net. Gostad, the big guy, trying to kill some time. But it is Gagner who will lead the rush. Now he'll peel back and set up by giving it to Justin Schultz. Here comes Gagner across the blue line. Nice dish to Perron. Perron trying to get it back to him. Broken up by Josi. But Gagner is there in the corner. Sam Gagner chewing on that mouthpiece. Plays it back to Schultz. Over to Perron. Perron moves in right in front for Gagner, and it slides just wide. Joensuu's back on the ice, parking himself in front. Here's Perron's shot. And that one missed. It got by Yakupov. And the Oilers will have to regroup, and they'll do that with their top line, along with Ryan Smith. Down to 44 seconds of power play time. Here comes Taylor Hall. Centers to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins plays it back. Here is Schultz with a shot. That was blocked. And Mike Fisher picks it up and sends it down the ice.
That one stopped too. Good one-timer there by Justin Schultz. I like the fact he takes the first pass, and Gabriel Bourque, that one stung him as he went off the ice. He was in some pain for sure.
Everly with it now. Drop pass for Hall. Hall from the half wall back up top. One-time shot. There is Smith. He scores. Ryan Smith. An historic power play goal for Ryan Smith. The Oilers have a 3-1 lead as Smith moves up in the record books.
And where he usually pays the price, right in front on the power play. Good transition here, as we talked about. Taylor Hall has been taking the puck up the ice, with speed. When he does, it backs everybody in, sets up shot, finds it back again to the blue line. It's a one-time shot, Kevin. We've talked about this a lot. Get the puck to the net. And for Ryan Smith, he just meets it as it gets there, stays with it, gets the paddle down and bangs it home. For, as you mentioned, a very huge power play goal for him.
125 on his career. His 4th power play goal of the season. Taylor Hall gets 1 assist. And Corey Potter gets the other. They had a little quick check. It will count. 10-12, the time of the goal. And he ties the birthday boy. Wayne Gretzky turning 53. 125 power play goals for him as an Edmonton Oiler. And Ryan Smith. And every time you can move yourself into that elite company for Smith. Potter and Hall. So Taylor Hall has now got 2 helpers on the season. And the Oilers have a 2-goal cushion. Corey Potter got 5 assists. And for Ryan Smith, without a goal in his last 13 coming in, he's now got 7 goals on the season. He was the most accurate shooter in the skills competition yesterday, and he didn't have to worry about it here. And Matt Hendricks heading to the penalty box when we come back. We have the Safeway and Ocean Spray multi-packs. Heather Kitteringham of Edmonton has won the $250 gift card from Visions Electronics on the 7th goal of the season for Ryan Smith and his 125th power play marker.
Just climbing up the ladder, and for him 125 ties him with the great one for second all-time power play goals in Oilers history. Only one shy of Glenn Anderson, which still got a lot of time to do that. So I imagine he will find himself at the top of the heap.
Right now he's out there in the penalty killing role as Matt Hendricks is in the box for slashing. And it's the second power play for the Nashville Predators. They were held to just one shot when they had the power play in the first period. Legwand across the blue line. David Legwand throws it around the boards, and it comes all the way back to Weber. Weber and Josi on the point. This is Mike Fisher with the puck. To Legwand. David Legwand with Hornquist in front. Here is Patrick Hornquist, backhand denied. Hornquist picks it up, checked by Petrie. Petrie trying to get it free, but it is Legwand back to Weber. To Fisher. Mike Fisher. He can't get it to Weber. He'll try again. Ryan Smith diving. Weber not able to get the big shot away. Josi. Down low for Fisher. He is stopped by Jeff Petrie. Weber with it again. Mike Fisher gets it back again. Will this be Weber's shot? There it is. Hornquist digging for the rebound. Steered aside and picked up by Roman Josi. Josi to Legwand. Legwand being watched by Smith. Down low for Hornquist. Weber going back door as Fisher gets it to Legwand. 37 seconds left in the power play. Fisher delivers to Josi. Here's Weber. Wow, that shot was wide, and it comes all the way down the ice.
There's a whip or two. Just teed it right up in a set play once again. Little pass into the middle to Fisher, back to the blue line, and put on a tee for Weber just to crush it.
Josi gets by Jones, goes cross ice. There's Smith's shot stop as it goes wide. And looking for it is Scrivens. He'll just sit on the puck at the side of the net and get the whistle.
Well, some good action in front too, and Patrick Hornquist is a real thorn in your side. He's done this his whole career, much like Thomas Holmstrom used to do in Detroit. He gets in that blue paint, he makes it tough, and he has the hands in front, Kevin, to do good things. As Ben Scrivens directing traffic in there. Good vocalization here. You can tell he's talking to Petrie, saying, hey, I got this guy in front. Don't worry about him. And I talked to Curtis Joseph years ago about Holmstrom, and he said, just leave him to me, to his defenseman. You guys take care of everybody else, and let me take care of the guy in front. And good job by Scrivens there to direct traffic in front of the net.
Hornquist got 10 goals on the season. Half of them have come on the power play. Power play now down to just 5 seconds. Ellis lets a shot go. Pad save by Scrivens. And Hendricks is out of the box. He wants the puck. Nugent Hopkins chips it in. Matt Hendricks going after it, along with Nugent Hopkins. Wilson to Smith. Great Smith for Seth Jones. Seth Jones drop pass. Colin Wilson moving in. Good defensive play there by Sam Gagner. Colin Wilson. Jones in position. Seth Jones wanted that puck. Instead, it's Nick Spaulding. Smith. Del Zotto lets it go. Scrivens the save. Paul chops up the rebound to center. Nashville 0 for 2, a total of just 3 shots. And you can see that Shea Weber does not get a lot of opportunities against the Oilers penalty killers so far tonight. Taylor Hall pushes it ahead for Ryan Smith. Too far for him. Victor Barkley will go back and get it. Del Zotto with a pass to Bork. Bork for Gostad. Tips it in. Potter has Nystrom on him. Corey Potter checked by Eric Nystrom. And then Potter returns the favor by knocking down Nystrom. Gabriel Bork drops it for Gostad. Tied up by Beloff as he centers it to Roman Josi. Josi gets around Eberle. Here's Weber. He'll let a shot go. Pad save by Scrivens. Weber's got it again. Another shot coming. Ryan Smith got in the way of that. Beloff sends it around the boards. Ryan Smith will pick it up. Folks here at Rexall appreciate the effort of a team that has 3 goals And 6 so far against the Nashville Predators in their season series. These teams will meet again March 18th. The game will be here at Rexall. Luke Gastic, long shot up high on Hutton. And quickly back the other way comes Hornquist. Hornquist checked by Marincin. Hornquist. He is stopped there by Joensuu. Marincin and Joensuu combine to steal it away from Patrick Hornquist.
Good sticks, and as you mentioned, Kevin, good battle level down low by Edmonton in the defensive zone. The Predators putting a little pushback here on Edmonton. A couple of big blasts from the blue line, some battles down in the trenches, but they stay in the battle and win those loose pucks and are able to deny Nashville from clawing back into this one.
Petrie gets it to Gagne. Sam Gagne moving in, fires a shot. Hutton the save. That one goes up high. When it comes down, Petrie is there. Yakupov, he got knocked down by Fisher. Del Zotto tripped up. Opportunity for Yakupov. Could not pull the trigger on that shot. Seth Jones is in his way. Nick Spaulding with it now. Spaulding across the blue line. His wrist shot deflected up into the seats. Rogers Oilers hockey from Rexall Place right here on Sportsnet.
Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Ocean Spray Multi-Packs. The Goals for Heroes program is proudly sponsored by Synovus. For every Oilers goal this season, Synovus will donate $400 to Valor Place Military Family Support House. To date, the Oilers have scored 138 goals for a total of $55,200.
And 3 of those goals have come here tonight. Justin Schultz, Jordan Eberle, and Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith's on the power play, the only goal of the second period so far. It came at 10-12. Corey Potter and Taylor Hall getting the assists. 4:26 to go in this period. The Oilers out shooting the Preds by 1 right now, 17-16. Face-off won by Hendricks. Nick Schultz up to Boyd Gordon, tips it in. Ryan Jones against Weber. Shea Weber ties him up. Look at Hendricks come in and get it. Hendricks throws it towards the net. Hutton steers that aside. Schultz with a shot. Ryan Jones in front. And Carter Hutton covers up.
If you're looking for commercial insurance or risk management services, contact us to see what the power of insight can do for you.
Definitely some chemistry forming between Jones, Hendricks, and Gordon.
Absolutely. Nice little chip in the offensive zone. It's a good forecheck by Jones and just holds the puck, waits for Hendricks to get there. And this trio here has been very effective at not only defending, Kevin, but creating offensive chances as well. It was Jones in front who was right on the doorstep trying to deflect that blast from Justin Schultz.
It is Yakupov, Gagne, and Perron out there now. Jeff Petrie lost it there to Beck. Out in front it comes, all the way back to Jones. He fires a shot that hit Yakupov, and then Jones' stick broke, and the net not only came off the moorings, but comes right down on Ben Scrivens.
Guess who? Patrick Hornquist again. Not too happy. He felt that it was shoved off and pushed down deliberately. But being a thorn in the side of Edmonton once again, crashing the net. You got to respect this. This is where he goes. This is where he knows he's effective. And has been in Scrivens' peripheral or right in front of him all night long. And right here just kind of weasels in there again. Make sure he's right in front of Scrivens. And he's pointing towards Martin Marincin, who he feels pushed it off on purpose. A little bit of nudging there, though, so he maybe helped it go all the way down. Pretty cagey for a youngster.
Absolutely.
To get away with that one.
Yep. In just his 16th game. Gagne against Fisher from the draw. Beck is tied up by Marincin, and that allows Petrie to move it to Perron, who outlets for Yakupov. Sweeps that puck in. Hutton can't control it. Perron gets to it first. Gagne, around the boards it comes, but it is Hornquist out there with Beck. Across the blue line, pushes it ahead, Taylor Beck. Behind the net, Petrie gives him a shove. Yakupov to Gagne. Marincin joining the rush along with Perron. Here's Gagne to Yakupov, shot, he scores! Nail Yakupov makes it a 4-1 game. Nail Yakupov, his first goal in his last 6 and his first career goal against the Nashville Predators.
And just a good transition up the ice. Good little delay here by Gagne to wait for people to get settled. Everybody drives through as Marincin, who acts as the decoy, gets his feet pumping, goes right down, draws Fisher in with him. And as a result, watch, Marincin down, Yakupov wide open. He beats his man to that slot area and right away gets the shot away. Doesn't hold on to this one. It's a little sauce on the tape in the back of the net, 4-1 Edmonton.
And Sam Gagne. Here's Nugent Hopkins looking for more. Stopped by Hutton. I'm going to say Sam Gagne now has 4 points in his last 6 games. And we've got more prizes. Our next Score and Win winner, courtesy of Safeway and Ocean Spray multi-packs. Aaron Sorrell of Fort McMurray has won the Bradley Original Electric Smoker. On the goal by Nail Yakupov at 16:46. Nail Yakupov into double digits. He's got 10 goals on the season. The Oilers beat Nashville 3-0 the last time these teams played. And now they've got 4. 20 shots directed the way of Carter Hutton. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go as Eberle moves in against Weber. It comes right to Hutton, and with Eberle on the doorstep, he'll hang on to it.
Good aggressive forecheck once again by the big line. All three are moving their feet, being aggressive on the attack, and it was Eberle that just disrupts the play enough to get this bouncing puck into the offensive zone. Jordan Eberle, we talked about him getting hot 4 goals in his last 5 games, had 3 in a row. And here tries to go around the big man Weber. Gets by him just, but a good job by Hutton to make sure he gets this puck and doesn't allow Eberle to get to it.
4th line on the ice right now. Along with Bellotte and Potter and Smith. Pass for Joensuu. Jesse Joensuu against the smaller Ryan Ellis. Joensuu gets it to Smith. Ryan Smith up top. Here is Potter's shot, and that went off Gabriel Bourque. Gazdic and Joensuu, this 4th line, keeping the Nashville Predators hemmed up in their own zone. Puck sits behind the net. Gazdic finally gets to it. Ryan Smith works his way over to the corner, gets it back to Potter at the point. Over to Bellotte. Bellotte down low for Gazdic. He got tripped up there by Ellis. Puck alive. Joensuu given a shove by Wilson. Ryan Smith now to Gazdic. Gazdic back to the point. Potter, one-timer right on. Joensuu deflected it wide. And there's Ryan Smith getting knocked down by Wilson, but still managed to get the puck to Hutton, who covers up.
I'll tell you, big Luke Gazdic in the blue paint. They're really battling away with Ryan Ellis, a smaller guy. Ellis talking to the referee, Donnie Van Massenhoven, right now feeling he might have got worked over a little too much, but he battles the big man effectively. When Gazdic gets a little upset, gives him a pretty good shot. Right there, you don't kind of see it. Then he moves himself into the front of the net, and when Gazdic wants to throw his weight around and get himself to the blue paint, pretty hard guy to handle down low.
240 pounds of Luke Gazdic. Petrie. Marincin, and he wanted to get it to Hendricks, but that one-timer snapped the stick of Matt Hendricks. He's got it back again, and he throws a hit on the back. Jones, his shot doesn't make it through as Marincin got a stick on it. Jeff Petrie now plays it around the boards. Seth Jones pinching, racing over to try and keep it in his back. And that one ends up going out of play.
Nice read there by Boyd Gordon to recognize that Hendricks was tied up with Jones down low in the zone. So the puck goes back to the blue line, and he just kind of pinches up, forces that dump in a little bit quicker by Beck. As a result, it deflects up over top of the glass. That's just good reading in the defensive zone. You have to react off one another. As you mentioned before, Kevin, Boyd Gordon, Hendricks played together in Washington. Hendricks and Jones are friends. They work out together in the summertime in Minnesota. So 3 guys that know each other and have really found some chemistry. Something you can't buy. It just happens, and it's happened with that trio.
And in the second period, the Oilers have found their game. 12 shots, 5 quality chances, according to our ace stats man,
Paul E. Dangerously.
He never lies, and he's always right. A minute 13 to go here in the second period. As once again, Seth Jones controls. He will give it to Nick Spaulding. Too far for him. Chopped at by Schultz. It comes to Craig Smith. Craig Smith spins, throws it towards the net. That one high and wide. Seth Jones, nice move to get around Yakupov. Perron intercepts the pass. A broken stick there for Schultz. Yakupov gives him that.
It's going to be a penalty.
With 49.9 seconds left to go, Schultz's stick had broken. And Yakupov tried to get it to him.
He threw it on the one hop. And I think that's why he's going to get called here, is because he throws the stick. He doesn't hand it to him. So Nick Schultz broke his stick. Watch Yakupov here, just going to fire it into the zone. And what a pickup by Schultz. That is not easy to pick up a stick like that. So just maybe a little eager to get the stick to Schultz in front of the net. He almost gets away with it, but the veteran eyes of Donnie Van Massenhoven gets that from behind the blue line. He eluded one referee, but not the other.
So throwing the stick, the penalty to Nail Yakupov at 19:10 in the third power play. For the Nashville Predators, Roman Josi will give it to David Legwand. Big watch by Gordon as it comes to Josi, now to Weber. Weber a wrist shot this time, blocked by Marincin. Hornquist behind the net for Fisher to Legwand, back to Weber. 27 seconds to go in the period. Roman Josi to David Legwand. Hendricks and Gordon up front, Petrie and Marincin on the blue line. As Hornquist to Weber, what a save by Ben Scrivens, his best of this hockey game, as he slid across and robbed Weber. Hendricks gets the puck and he will send it down the ice.
That was an awesome save by Scrivens. Good read by him through all that traffic to recognize it was Weber with the shot and denies him.
And the buzzer goes, the Oilers with a 4-1 lead, and it's kept that way by this guy.
Well, you know what, Kevin, the first goal of the game that got by him, maybe a little questionable, straight on shot, but has he ever recovered? And right there keeps it a 4-1 game with a fantastic save on Weber.
Nail Yakupov is in the penalty box. He's got 1:10 left to serve, and the penalty he took for throwing his stick. Nick Schultz had broken his, and Yakupov tried to help him out, but instead of handing it to him, he threw it to him. So the Nashville Predators on their third power play of the hockey game, 0 for 2. The Oilers have held them to just 3 shots. David Legwand, Mike Fisher, Shea Weber, Roman Josi, and Patrick Hornquist are up front. Hendricks sends it around the boards, but it is Fisher who keeps it in. He drops it back for Weber, quickly over to Josi. Josi, puck on end, gets it to Legwand. David Legwand for Fisher, tipped it right back to Josi, now to Weber. Weber down low for Legwand. David Legwand will give it to Patrick Hornquist, get the puck right back. And the pass back to Josi comes all the way down to Carter Hutton. And he flings it up to Hornquist as the Oilers penalty killer changing up. Josi keeps it in. Josi against Schultz. Back to the point. Here's Weber. Does not shoot. Instead gives it to Fisher. 15 seconds of power play time remaining. Josi to Legwand. David Legwand hounded there by Nick Schultz. Legwand across to Weber. Back to Josi. He can't shoot it. He'll give it to Legwand. Tipped by Nick Schultz up into the netting with just 2 seconds to go in the penalty to Nail Yakupov.
A little frustration on the eyes of the face of David Legwand. Just couldn't get something generated there. A little shake of the head. Got kind of isolated on the half wall there and really couldn't find the puck. It was bobbling on him. Couldn't get it back to Shea Weber. Then once it did, just some bobbling once again. So for Nashville, having a little bit of difficulty dialing things in here on this power play.
Yakupov is out of the box. Aims her even strength here is Seth Jones right on in front, and an opportunity for Wilson denied. And it's flipped out to center. Gagne goes down. Nashville 0 for 3. The Oilers 1 for 2 with the man advantage. Wilson knocks down and Nick Schultz kept it at the point by Delzato through traffic, and that one was blocked. Taylor Hall winds up in his own zone. The Nashville Predators making changes. Hall delivers to Eberle. Eberle back to Hall. He was checked by Victor Bartman, who sent it around the boards for Nick Spaulding. Spaulding to Paul Gostad. Chips and chases against Beloff. Corey Potter helps him out. Gostad bumps into number 44. They battle for the puck, and it comes to Eric Nystrom from a sharp angle. A puck deflected by Rich Clune. Eberle can't get it out. Potter with it now. Throws it to an open wing, but it's kept in by Ryan Ellis. Ellis towards the net. Blocker save. Clune looking for Nystrom, and it got by him. Oh, Eric Nystrom was red hot the last time he played. This time, he couldn't put it home.
He used them all up for a while.
4 goals against the Calgary Flames.
That was right on the doorstep, just bouncing over the stick. Wide open net.
All wants to relieve the pressure. He will send it down the ice. But it's coming back. They'll have to stay out there.
Your summer is about to get a whole bunch better. Wake surf like a pro behind a 2014 Mastercraft from Martin Motorsports.
Well, Kevin, I'll start it again. Giveaway here in the defensive zone. Looks like it's going to clear the zone, but it doesn't. This puck finds its way down. What a pass through everybody. And for Eric Nystrom, as you mentioned, 4 goals Friday night in the game versus Calgary. Just can't get a handle on that one as everybody was watching the puck. And here it is again, right through the 5-hole. Not a dandy chance there, but a good shift by that line to get in the offensive zone, create that chaos, and get that good high-quality scoring chance. The Oilers have to take a timeout here on the icing to rest some troops and get a puck out up 4-1. You don't want to give the Nashville Predators, if you're Edmonton right now, any life. So a good timeout call by Dallas Eakins. But it has to be a little bit firmer by the defensive Edmonton when they have that puck in the defensive zone. Beloff first had it, then it was Potter. Both pucks don't get out of the zone, results in a high-quality chance.
So the timeout is out. And Sam Gagner will line up against Mike Fisher for this face-off. The Oilers, of course, want to get control and then get these guys off the ice. David Perron hops over the boards late. It'll be Gagner against Fisher. Fisher wins it. Josi steps into a shot. And the Oilers do clear it down the ice. And they're going to come back and do it again.
I think that one deflected off someone down the ice, but a real good hard shot by Roman Josi, who's really had a nice little stretch here for the Nashville Predators. 8 points in his last 6 games, and he crushed that one. Has learned a little bit, I think, from his D partner, Shea Weber.
And just like Ales Hemsky, who's not in the lineup, he missed the last Olympics for Switzerland due to injury. Remember, Ales missed because of a shoulder problem. But he is going to Sochi this year.
He'll be a big part of Team Switzerland, too. He's a real solid defenseman.
Beloff, as we mentioned, going to the Olympics, and he flipped that one out and ended up in the Oilers bench.
The Oilers have a little bit of trouble right now. Just getting pucks out of the zone. As Nashville pushes back, knowing they're down by 3 goals, they have to try and generate something. They saw the same thing happen to themselves, Nashville did, in the game Friday night versus Calgary. They were up at one time 4-1 in that game, 4 goals by Eric Nystrom. And the Flames came back and were able to win that one in the shootout. So for them, just trying to keep the work ethic high, keep pucks in the offensive zone, get pucks to the net from all angles, and a good job by Taylor Beck once again in the blue paint.
Face-off eventually won by Boyd Gordon. 12-3 through 40 minutes was Boyd Gordon in the face-off circle. Weber back in his own zone. Long pass for Nick Spaulding. Spaulding to Bourque. Bourque with a backhand, hit the side of the net. Legwine recovers back to Josi. He lets the shot go and his stick broke again. Boyd Gordon chops it out to center. Weber's going to shoot it right back in. Nashville making changes, so the Oilers have opportunities to get it out. And it's Marincin to Petrie. Petrie up the middle for Gagner. He was covered by Jones. Hutton's going to leave it there for Del Zotto. Michael Del Zotto, when they get back to Nashville, he's going to change his number. He said it was 18 was just the one available. So he might change it to a lower number. He wore 4 in New York, and that number 4 is being used right now by Ryan Ellis. Perron flips it in. Wilson sends it around the board. Craig Smith waiting for it. To the middle it goes, and this is Nystrom. Eric Nystrom against Schultz. Long shot, blocker save, and blockered right up into the netting by Ben Scrivens.
Colin Wilson and David Perron having a few words as they got tangled up behind the play. Ben Scrivens, after giving up that first goal in the first period to David Legwand, has closed the door on the Nashville Predators. 21 saves on the night for him. And here's a little tangle up, and of course for David Perron, just trying to hold Wilson back behind the play as long as possible. And as they circle around, they have words all the way back to the benches. And played with Colin Wilson's dad, Kerry, who was a solid customer himself.
Hendricks steps it in. Hutton has Jones all over him as he's sitting around the boards. Connor keeps it in. Victor Bartley now will give it to Ryan Ellis. Ellis checked hard there by Matt Hendricks. Beloff has to deal with Clune. Clune takes him into the boards. Brian Jones helping out. He's checked by Gostad. Beloff with it now. Beloff plays it off the glass and gets that puck down the ice. But it's going to be an icing call as Beloff was not able to get the draw weight on that clearing attempt.
Good work down low, and Roman Josi didn't really attempt too hard to get to that puck on the icing call. A little chip off the glass and kind of let it go by him. Offensive zone faceoff, so a smart play by him, and he gets away with it.
Oilers had a 20-18 shots on goal edge after 40 minutes, but now it's 22-20 in favor of the Predators, who have controlled play here in the third period. We're under 15 minutes. Beck, his pass attempt for Hornquist broken up by Hendricks. But once again, the Predators get control. Shea Weber, Roman Josi. Hornquist, long shot, Scrivens, easy save, but he will hang on to it.
Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca. Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner.
Well, number 99 was the great one. We mentioned Muhammad Ali, Louis, the greatest, and he was the guy that perfected the rope-a-dope, and we're seeing it here for the Oilers in this third period.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, not necessarily the way you want to play. You have the 4-1 lead. You were dictating the play, being aggressive, but you got to credit the Nashville Predators here too as well, Kevin. They've really come out this third period and got pucks in behind the defensive Edmonton, established that forecheck, and are creating chances. And one of the good things Edmonton has done here, though, is they've kept it to the outside. So most of the chances that Nashville's gotten here so far in the third have been those shots from the perimeter. And you don't mind seeing those.
Justin Schultz. Pass intercepted by Bork. Threw it towards the net, steered aside by Scrivens. Eberle stretches for that, can't get it at the end of the shift, and Roman Josi will go back to get it. He and Weber stay out there as Josi leads the rush. He'll give it to Wilson. Colin Wilson surrounded. Gets a little help from Legwand. It's Spaulding. Spaulding goes down thanks to Jesse Joensuu, but again, the shooting gallery continues. This is Del Zotto. Del Zotto can't get the shot away, and finally Gastic sends it down the ice. No icing as David Legwand retrieves it. Legwand takes a hit from Luke Gastic. Joensuu on the turnover. Jesse Joensuu behind the net to Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith in a battle with Roman Josi. Here's a chance for Luke Gastic. Gastic for Smith, the fourth line, keeping this puck in the Nashville end. Joensuu in front. Gastic plays it behind the net. Smith is there. Rich Clune. Stopped by Ryan Smith. Legwand zips it around the other side, but it's kept in by Petrie. Petrie to Gastic to Smith. Smith. Out in front it goes for Petrie. That was intercepted by Rich Clune, but he gets backtracked by David Perron, who just hopped over the boards.
Good job by Perron. Coming off the boards, recognizing it was a little bit of a breakdown as Petrie had pinched down, goes right to Richard Clune and breaks up that play.
Sam Gagner with Yakupov, broken up by Seth Jones, but Gagner's got it again. Winds and fires a shot that caught the side of the net. Paul Gostad. Victor Bartley. Out for Bork. Now to Nystrom. Nystrom gets pinned, but Bork carries on. Throws it towards the net. Scrivens pad save. Anton Beloff takes a hit, delivers it to Perron. He gets checked. Nystrom with it now to Bartley. Victor Bartley to Nystrom. His shot blocked by Beloff. Back to the point. Seth Jones. Bartley winds, fires a blast. Nystrom the screen, but Scrivens the save. And it's sent down the ice by Corey Potter, and another icing call against the Oilers.
Yeah, good shift again by this line of Nashville. You talked about Eric Nystrom and the fact that he scored 4 goals on Friday, and earlier in the year watched Jerome McGinley, his old teammate in Calgary, go to the front of the net on a consistent basis and get points, and that's what he's trying to do a little more of. Look where he goes. He's right in the blue paint, right in front of Scrivens, and he's been there. And you look at 3 of the 4 goals that he scored Friday night, it was just driving to the net, being in the right place at the right time, getting a stick on it. And his first career hat trick and 4-goal game. A result of that.
One of 5 players active in the NHL right now whose dad scored hat tricks in the NHL. And one of those guys wears number 89 for the Edmonton Oilers.
Dave Gagne.
Here is
15 seasons in the NHL. He's a sniper.
Hendricks chips it in against Ellis. Hendricks supported by Gordon. Boyd Gordon with the puck. Jones calling for it. He goes to Hendricks. Jones is out in front. Now it's behind the net. And Ryan Jones has got it. Ryan Jones checked by Fisher, but there's a shot by Gordon. Jones working hard in the corner. Ryan Jones back to Boyd Gordon. Checked there by Ekholm. Nick to Justin. Justin quick up to Hendricks. Hendricks winds, fires a long shot. Hutton the save. No rebound for Ryan Jones. Rogers, Oilers hockey on the net.
A return to Rexall Place for Devan Dubnyk, even though he is not the starting goalie tonight on the part of the Nashville Predators. A bit of a controversy earlier when his new coach, Barry Trotz, made these comments upon Dubnyk's arrival with the Nashville Predators, as he said that we got Devan from Edmonton and we realized very quickly that he had some, shall we say, bad habits that he's picked up this year. Now, Barry this morning, who is one of the most respected people, let alone coaches in the NHL, said it was a case of being misquoted, and Devan agreed that was much ado about nothing. Trotz eventually called GM Craig McTavish as well as goaltending coach Frederick Chabot to clarify and apologize, and as a result, both sides were able to bury the hatchet.
How do you spell Barry? Nashville Predators
has to get it in there.
Yes, he can't help himself. Have been out shooting the Oilers by a considerable margin. There's another save for Ben Scrivens. The Oilers with just 1 shot in the period.
That was the 9th by the Nashville Predators, and another real good save by Scrivens.
All disrupted. Weber, Everly gets it to Schultz. Schultz with a wrist shot, high and wide. Hall picks it up. Back to the point it goes. Kept in by Martin Marincin. Hutton out of his net. Josi now to Craig Smith. He bounces it off the boards. That puck goes into the penalty box with just 1 second away from the halfway mark of this period.
Well, Kevin, you mentioned Martin Marincin got his first National Hockey League assist last game against Phoenix on a goal by David Perron, and played a career high 23-53 in that game with the injury to Andrew Ferentz in the first period. The kid had to step up, and he stepped up in a big way and has played with that solid, poised character game each and every night he's been in the National Hockey League. A couple little fumbles here and there along the way, but it's going to be a good one.
Yep. And he's only going to get bigger. He's only 188 pounds right now. Ryan Smith with the puck.
Maybe he'll go in and Charo tell him how to bulk up a little bit in the Olympics.
Yes, he's going to represent Slovakia. Kept in at the point by Petrie. Long shot. That was blocked by Del Zotto. Ryan Smith plays it right out in front, and it slid right through. Now the fourth line has had some good shifts in this third period. As Wilson shoots it in. The second line for the Oilers hops over the boards. Gagne with Yakupov and Perron. Yakupov getting the Oilers' 4th goal tonight. A bouncing puck mishandled by Hutton. Here's Yakupov centering, cleared away by Ellis. Fisher almost gave it away. The Oilers keep it in. Gagne fakes the shot. Now he'll let it go through traffic. Hutton the save, but there is Perron to jump on the rebound. He'll go cross ice for Yakupov. Hopped over his stick. Plays it behind the net. There is Perron. Cut off by Ellis. And those two continue to battle. Perron from the corner. Ellis all over him. Fends him off. Gets a weak shot away, and it's steered into the corner by Carter Hutton. Gagne unable to keep it in at the point. Hornquist moving in the right side. Patrick Hornquist, a wrist shot. Good stick there by Nick Schultz. Nystrom. Back to the point it goes. Josi winds, fires through traffic. Scrivens the save, looks for the rebound. And is picked up there by Sam Gagne, and he will backhand that one. And it is going to be icing as we take a look at our game review, brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Justin Schultz with his 6th goal of the year gets things started. 2:59 in the first period. We saw Ryan Smith with his 125th power play goal to tie him with the great one who turned 53 today. And 9 different players have points in the game, and the Nashville Predators have come back in this third period and started to pile on the shots, out shooting Edmonton 9-2.
The Predators 3-4-3 in their last 10 games on the road. And that road trip will continue into Winnipeg on Tuesday. The Oilers are going to hit the road for just 1 game. They'll be in Vancouver in the second half of a back-to-back game. And we'll have that game for you on Monday. We'll also have a Pacific Division matchup against the San Jose Sharks. That game is on Wednesday. That'll be the last home game for the Oilers before the Olympic break. They're going to hit the road and go east before the break. And it'll start in Boston. They have another back-to-back setup as they'll play the Rangers and New Jersey. That'll be the New Jersey game, the last one before the Olympic break. 7:49 left to go in the third period. Gaustad throws it towards the net. Smalling trying to get a stick on it. Roman Josi at the point. He'll give it to Weber. Look out. Here he comes. And Ben Scrivens with Paul Gaustad providing the screen. Makes the save and hangs on. Rogers, Oilers hockey on the net. Outstanding play, outstanding results. Brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Well, we just talked about that goal by Justin Schultz. 2:59 into the first period. Great work down low by the fourth line of Edmonton. And eventually Justin Schultz just slips into the slot and makes good. A nice nifty little pass by Joensuu on the tape. Just good recognition. There was a hole open. He takes that hole and opens the scoring 1-0 in the first.
His 6th goal of the season and 21st point for Justin Schultz, who had not gotten a point in his last 4 games coming in. The Oilers with a 3-goal lead and 7.5 minutes on the clock. Here is Weber, wrist shot this time, 6 in the crease, they bang away at it. Here is Weber again out in front. Smith trying to get it in, and he does. Craig Smith has made it a 4-2 game. Mad scramble in the blue paint.
Boy, was it ever a mad scramble. And scary situation when Shea Weber has the puck in the slot, bodies are all over the place, and he elects not to tee it up, and it was a smart play on his part. As you'll see this puck eventually again go to the front of the net. Everybody converging, bodies everywhere. Boyd Gordon trying to play goaltender here. And it was that pass wide there to Smith by Shea Weber that allows Smith to put it into the net. As Gordon was standing his ground, was going to try and block the blast by Weber. And for Smith, just gets it through and makes it a 4-2 game with that shot that trickles through and finds its way over the goal line.
Craig Smith is the leading goal getter for the Nashville Predators. And he's got 17 on the season.
No, I'll tell you, Ben Scrivens wasn't too happy with the play. Again, he's already drawn 1 penalty by Beck for goalie interference, and they were all over him in this situation too. It was difficult, Kevin, for him to get back up in the play. He was swimming a little bit in the blue paint. But credit the Nashville Predators for buzzing the tower, staying there, and finishing it off.
And it is no goal. Well, we talked about the chaos in the blue paint.
It was interference again. Okay, so you know what? Ben Scrivens looked up, had a conversation, and I have to say, good call. They were buzzing the tower, but they did make contact with Scrivens. And you'll watch as it's Beck once again that interferes with Scrivens getting back into the blue paint. So he's in between the goaltender and the net in the blue paint and doesn't allow him to get in there, and then gives him a little forearm shiver again after getting pushed by Schultz. So twice for Beck in that blue paint.
Doesn't get a penalty on this one, but they don't get the goal. So it stays 4-1 with 7:10 to go in regulation time. Craig Smith denied his 17th goal of the season. Weber. Smith with it now. Craig Smith. Turning is Beck. Taylor Beck under pressure from Hall and Petrie. Now Nugent Hopkins comes in and starts away. Nugent Hopkins with Hall and Eberle. Ryan Nugent Hopkins drops it for Hall. Hall. Petrie, his stick raised, looking for the shot. He plays it behind the net instead. Eberle's got it now. Jordan Eberle, nice little move against Taylor Beck. Eberle hanging on. He gets pinned there by Weber. But the puck's still alive, and now Weber just shoving guys down, including Taylor Hall. And Hall makes his way slowly to the bench as the Oilers get their fourth line out there.
Well, you know, obviously they don't need any more goals to win this hockey game, Kevin. So any second you can spend in the offensive zone and dragging the puck are good ones.
Del Zotto's shot is blocked by Joensuu, and that hurt number 6. Jesse Joensuu stunned by that shot from Michael Del Zotto. Backhand by Hornquist, steered aside as Scrivens made the save. And Gastic wants to get this puck down the ice. The Oilers want to get this third period over with. Hornquist brings it in. Long shot. Scrivens stick save into the corner it goes. Potter to Ryan Smith. He's stopped by Hornquist. Rich Clune trying to circle the net. Denied. Sticks flying everywhere as Hornquist's stick went for a sail. Jones brings it right back in. Drop pass for Fisher. Here is Fisher. A long shot. Steered aside as Yakupov dropped his cue. Clune gets knocked down by Corey Potter. Clune goes back at him with a cross-check, and here comes a penalty to number 16. 16 wants a piece of 44, but not with a 4-1 lead, says Corey Potter. Rich Clune, who has 10 fights on the season, will not get a partner in Corey Potter. Instead, he's going to go to the penalty box. And the Oilers on the power play when we come back. Game is brought to you by Rogers, bringing fans the fastest speeds in more places. Rogers LTE.
Well, Kevin, with the game 4-1 for Edmonton late in the second period on the power play, it was a terrific chance for Shea Weber, and Ben Scrivens just denies him on the doorstep as he goes with the shot, comes across, reads the play, makes a huge save. He's made many, 33 to be exact so far in this game, as the Oilers will go back on the power play. And tough job being a linesman in this game tonight. If you watch Sam Gagner, the butt end of his stick, taking the faceoff, comes up, catches Mark Suchuk in the face with that butt end. He goes over and has a little talk with TD4s on the Edmonton bench and shows the little chipped tooth that he's got. And I said, hey, you want to talk about chipped teeth and losing teeth? Talk to the guy that stuck you. He lost a couple in preseason this year. And also a broken jaw along the way, but he smiled it off and he stayed in the game.
Rich Clune, he's not in the game right now. Instead, he's in the penalty box for cross-checking the Oilers with their third power play. And an opportunity for Ryan Smith to join Anderson with 126 career power play goals as an Edmonton Oiler. He tied the great one earlier, and he's in front of the net now. Here is Hall at the point. To the middle it goes. Nugent Hopkins, Schultz, Eberle out in front. There it is! Nugent Hopkins, a power play goal to make it 5-1. And the Oilers have 2 man advantage goals. Nugent Hopkins gets his 15th goal of the season.
And only 2 power play goals in the last 6 games coming into this game here tonight. But good puck movement here. I like the fact it's never on anyone's stick longer than a couple of seconds. Bang, on the stick, off the stick, once again down low. And a nice little shot pass by Schultz that sets this whole thing up as Nugent Hopkins finds his way into the slot. Jordan Eberle threads the needle once again for a tap-in for Hopkins.
15:32, the time of the goal for Ryan Nugent Hopkins. He's got 39 points on the season. And Justin Schultz gets his second point of the game. Jordan Eberle also has 2 points. And the Oilers, just 1 power play goal in their last 4 games, come up with 2 here tonight. And their first 2 in the series against Nashville. They scored 3 regular even strength goals against Nashville on November 28th. They've got 5 goals here tonight. And the Oilers on their way to snapping a 6-game losing streak by handing Nashville their 2nd straight loss. Hutton lays it around the boards. Bork waiting for it. The 4th line getting an opportunity now with 3 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in regulation time. Luke Gastic chips it in. He'll go after it himself. Ellis takes him up from Gastic. 6 of the 23 shots for the Oilers generated with the man advantage. Fisher centers it out in front. Gastic is there. He was checked by Ellis. Nashville keeping it in. Bartley shot. Scrivens the save. Petrie sends the rebound to Gazdic. Out to Smith, who plays it off the boards and down the ice. Second line. Out there now, along with Beloff and Potter. Ryan Ellis goes cross ice for David Legwand. Legwand for Clune. That was broken up by Beloff. And back comes Yakupov. He's got Perron going to the front of the net. Here's Yakupov trying to get it to him. Instead, it goes right on to Carter Hutton. 2.5 minutes left to go in this hockey game. Back to pick it up, Corey Potter. Gagne to Beloff. Beloff is checked by Legwand. Gets it to Yakupov. He had Weber in his face. Potter chased back into his own zone. The Oilers, their 9th win at home coming up. 16th victory of the season as they get ready to go into Vancouver for a game tomorrow night against the Canucks. They dropped that 2-1 decision here on January the 21st. And will try and get their first win against another Pacific Division rival. And that game tomorrow night, then come home and play San Jose on Wednesday. 35 shots fired the way of Ben Scrivens. He's made 34 saves so far. Hendricks flips that in. Hutton the save. Hendricks right in front of him. Well, by swiping a free club card at Safeway, Marilyn Kern of Edmonton has won the Men's Boulevard Marine Star Chronograph watch, courtesy of Safeway and Ocean Spray multi-packs. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins, along with Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle, have had 2 good games against the Nashville Predators. They'll do it again March 18th. They'll wrap up the series. That game will be right here at Rexall Place. Potter to Gazdic. Blinds, fires a shot. Hutton the save. No rebound for Jesse Joensuu.
It's that 100-mile-an-hour slap shot that he won the hardest shot competition yesterday with for Gazdic, who's had a real solid effort tonight. And you know, you and I got a chance to talk with Craig McTavish in the second intermission. Really impressed with the fourth line's gusto tonight, the way they're getting in physically in the offensive zone, banging bodies. Joensuu, Smith, and Gazdic getting some ice time tonight. And big blast down the left-hand side there.
Beloff with a big shot. Hutton the save. Beloff keeps it in for Ryan Smith. Smith checked by Delzato. Gazdic carries on. Back to the point. Corey Potter. He throws it towards the net. A wrist shot rises over top of the cage. Joensuu to Smith. Smith wrap around attempt. Stopped by Hutton. Less than a minute to go. Potter gives it to Gazdic. Smith behind the net. Ryan Smith's got Joensuu out in front. He'll play it back to Potter. Snaps a shot. That one deflected wide. Great play by Joensuu. Back to Beloff. This fourth line trying to run out the clock. Smith spins things away from Mike Fisher. Corey Potter keeps it in at the line. Long shot. That one goes just wide. And Craig McTavish talking about the Oilers playing with a lead, and that allows you to run all 4 lines. And the fourth line out there doing their stuff. They get a hand from the folks here at Rexall.
And rightfully so. They're the line that started things off tonight with the first goal by Justin Schultz. It was the fourth line that was on the ice with the heavy lifting down low, and they finished things off here with an excellent shift in the offensive zone again. Just being heavy and killing the time on the clock.
And Edmonton Oilers fans at Rexall enjoy the fact that they see a 6-game losing streak come to an end with a dominating performance through 2 periods against the Nashville Predators, and Ben Scrivens wins his first game as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. 5-1 the final.